Today we're going to talk about number 12, all hitches, which is the simplest and one of the most effective plays in your arsenal as a 5v5 air raid coach. It's beautiful in its simplicity. You can call it in many different situations, and it results in some very easy completions, like pitch and catch completions between your quarterback and the receiver that are great at not just gaining yards, but building some confidence, some momentum, getting the crowd fired up. All the parents in the crowd love these because you can spread the ball around to pretty much every player on the field with them. And it's a good way to start to chip away and frustrate an opposing defense because it's so simple but yet so hard to defend. So let's take a look at this first by starting out in our base formation. So we've got blue, who's our tight end center type, green is in the slot, purple on the outside, and orange over here on the wide side of the field. So as the name implies, this is the same route by everybody on offense. Gotta put our quarterback here in the shotgun. So everybody's gonna run a 5-yard hitch. Very simple. They're gonna take 5 steps, plant on their inside foot, and turn back towards the quarterback and look for the ball. Blue, same thing, 5 steps, plant and turn. Green, 5 steps, plant and turn. Same deal over there. So looks very simplistic. If you just diagram it like this, it doesn't look like anything special, like you're gonna be able to rely on this because it just seems like the defense would easily be able to cover that. But that is not so in any level of football, especially the 5v5 flag football game. So let's take a look at this versus the 4 most common defenses you're gonna see. Those being cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, those are all zone coverages, and then a simple man-to-man. Let's start out with cover 3 then. So in cover 3, and if you haven't checked out our How to Read a Defense play calling video, go ahead and check that out before you watch any more play descriptions. It's going to teach you how to pre-snap, diagnose a defense, exploit the weaknesses. Air raid coaches call it finding open grass. So we find open grass pre-snap, call a play that's going to fill that open grass where there's no defenders, and it makes it really easy on your quarterback to make the right reads post-snap because you're taking about 70% of the workload off of them, putting it on the coach's shoulders pre-snap. So again, that's just an aside. You should go check that out if you haven't. But let's take a look at this cover 3. So cover 3 starts with 3 safeties deep, covering the deep third zone. So what that means is this safety has that from 10 yards deep, 10 yards from the line of scrimmage all the way to the goal line. 10 yards deep, 10 yards deep, all the way back. They split that. Then sometimes we'll see in a cover 3, the team will leave these cornerbacks really wide. It's not very common, and it's pretty unsound because it leaves the entire middle of the field wide open. So if that's the case, then like I said, we're looking for open grass that's uncovered by a defender. There's a huge patch of open grass right there in the middle. So it makes it very easy on your quarterback to just throw it to either blue or green in the slot in front of the safeties and between the cornerbacks. Makes it a simple, that's maybe 10 air yards that they're throwing it. So it's a very easy completion. It's basically an extended handoff to get the ball in a playmaker's hands and let them go make plays. But that's not very common because it's so unsound. What we typically see, and this is even like if you look at other websites, even the NFL flag website talking about what defenses to call, they'll call the cover 3 more like this, with 2 linebackers in the middle. Typically in a cover 3, they're not blitzing because again, that would just leave, you take this person away because they blitz the quarterback, that just leaves one person, one defender covering this entire shallow zone. So normally this is a no blitz defense when we see it, with the 3 safeties deep and the 2 linebackers covering the middle zones. So again, the read doesn't change for you as a play caller. When you see a cover 3, it becomes pretty easy to just pick out the big patch of green grass that's available to throw to. There's one right here, and there's one right here. So when we see that grass, that tells our quarterback where he's going with the football. So orange, typically our best all-around receiver. We want to get it in their hands as much as possible. Purple typically is a longer, taller speedster. When we, if you follow our player recommendations on these positions, they're able to stretch the field. But in this case, we can get them the ball and just let them use their speed to make some plays. So same thing. It's an extended handoff. Just get them to the ball. Get them the ball as fast as possible. The quarterback on these plays isn't taking a long time to look at what's happening on the field. Their read happens pre-snap when they pick out which of these two players they're going to. So if I'm going to go, I'm the quarterback here, orange is on my left, purple's on my right, and I snap the ball, I already know if I'm going left or right. So I hut, catch, throw. Not even a step, just catch, throw. And that receiver is doing their 5 steps. They plant and turn, and the ball should be halfway there at least when they turn around. So it's a timing route because we don't want to give anybody on the defense a chance to break forward and make a play on that football. So it takes a lot of practice. And that's one of the reasons that the air raid 5v5 flag football playbook is only 6 plays. We want to rep these plays over and over and over and over until the players are just dreaming about them at nights and can do it with their eyes closed. So this is a great play. We've had a ton of success running all hitches against a cover 3. I think what happens, it's really funny against many, cover 2 as well, but mainly against cover 3, is we'll hit these over and over and over. Sometimes we'll call this play 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row, and it's going for 5 to 10 yards every single time because this is at 5 yards where they're making the catch. If they turn and run two steps, that's 7 yards. We're on schedule to get a first down. We just want to keep doing that. What gets fun is as the other team starts to get a little frustrated because we're just racking up completions, they'll start to get desperate to stop it. And they'll either overcommit with this safety coming down, and 2 things will happen. They will either overcommit in coverage, and then we can call a different play to take advantage of that, going deep, or they'll overcommit in the play. They'll lunge for a flag or try to swat a ball out of the air that they can't quite reach. And then since it's one-on-one out here, either one of these players, all they have to do is make one person miss, and that's a touchdown. There's nobody else that can catch up to them on the field. It's pretty awesome to see a kid take a 5-yard catch, maybe on like the very first play of the drive, and hit it for a 40-yard touchdown or something like that. So this is a really good play against cover 3. I probably call it the most against cover 3 out of all of our plays because it's just predictable. We know what we can get out of it. So let's change things up on defense and switch it up to a cover 2. Now, cover 2, I guess these guys are all probably a little closer to the line. So in the cover 2, we've got 2 deep safeties covering the deep zones, 3 defenders in the shallow zones, but typically we don't see all 3 stay there. In our NFL flag league, there is 7 seconds for the quarterback to throw the ball. It's a throw clock of 7 seconds. That is an eternity. Even for a 3rd, 4th, 5th grade quarterback, it's so long to throw the ball. Somebody's going to be able to get open in that amount of time. It's hard to cover anybody for more than 4 or 5 seconds. So typically teams don't stay back and give us that full 7 seconds. They're going to send, sometimes they send a corner blitz, but most of the time the linebacker is going to blitz and try to rush the quarterback. This cuts that 7-second throw clock down to about 3 seconds. At the older ages, it's even less than 3 seconds. So it's huge for the defense to do that. But what it does when they vacate that middle zone is, again, this corner has outside zone. These 2 safeties are in the deep zones. What it does when the linebacker blitzes is all of a sudden it opens up this entire area that we can exploit. And we have 1, 2 options to exploit it with. So quarterback has an easy job here. Who do I want to get the ball to? They're both going to be open. Just pick your most reliable target. Pick the target you want to throw it to. Pick the target who hasn't had to catch that game and spread the ball around to them. So super, super effective against the cover two. We like to call this, especially when they're in that cover two and they have a really fast blitzer that's getting to the quarterback a ton. And so if they get to the quarterback in 2.5 or 3 seconds, it makes it really hard to open up the playbook. We were limited on the things that we can complete in 2 seconds or less. So if we can complete a few of these, again, 2 or 3 in a row, and just get 5-10 yards each time, that coach on the other sideline is going to get frustrated because they know that you're just going to nickel and dime them all the way down the field until you score. So that's when they might change up the coverage, pull this blitzer off, and give you a full 7-second throw clock. So it forces them into a mistake because, frankly, youth coaches aren't that patient. And if they see their kids getting beat 2, 3, 4 plays in a row, they lose patience and change something up rather than sticking with what makes us nervous is this blitzer that's hitting us in 2.5 to 3 seconds. So use this to it's kind of like a screen or a draw play. If you watch the NFL or college, they use those plays to slow down the blitz, slow down the pass rush. You can do the same thing with all hitches to slow down the blitz on their end. Okay, so that's cover two. It's pretty straightforward. Where's the grass? Who on my team is filling that grass? And then your quarterback just makes sure that there's no defenders in that grass post-snap. It's pretty straightforward and makes this play incredibly effective for us. So, okay. So that's cover three and cover two. Love this play against that. We'll call it all day long, no matter the situation. Like even if they're in a cover three defending the deep ball because they've got 3 defenders in the deep zone and it's 3rd and long, I might call this play just hoping we can make somebody miss, get it to an athlete in space, and see if they can go make a play. Because it's more likely that we could do that and make an 11-year-old miss a flagpole than it is to complete a 20-yard pass downfield. So give your kids a chance to make a play with this on 3rd and long. Don't discount it. There are 2 other coverages that I just want to cover very quickly. We don't call all hitches. We don't call 12 against them very often, and I just want to explain a little bit why. So as you get into a game and you start calling plays for your kids, you know what's up. So first is cover 1. So we've got 1 safety in the deep zone, corner, 2 linebackers, and a corner on this side. And it's pretty straightforward here why we don't call this against cover 1 zone. And that is everyone is accounted for in the shallow area. We've got one-on-one here, one-on-one here, one-on-one here. Here's their zones. Every single zone, every patch of grass has a defender in it. So not great. Even if they blitz somebody and bring that linebacker on a blitz, we could theoretically fill that open space when he opens the grass right there with a pass to our green slot receiver. But we don't love any plays that give us limited options. We want to have multiple options for the quarterback to choose from. Against this, you got 1. He has to force it right here. So we have other plays where the quarterback's going to have plenty of options against the cover 1. So we'll take a look at those in some of the other play description videos. But again, you can call this. If you get stuck in a hard spot or you make a mistake, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. But it's not the ideal play call. The other one, the final coverage that you're going to see in 5v5 flag football is a man-to-man. So that's when, and if you check out our video on reading defenses and calling plays, we'll talk about how to identify a man-to-man versus a zone coverage, because some teams that are well coached are going to be able to disguise this, and you won't know if they're in zone or man until after the play, unless you know some telltale signs to look for. All right, so man-to-man, simply, everybody's locked up. They've got somebody accounting for them, and we're not running anything fancy in our routes to be able to shake them off. We're running 5 steps straight forward, turn around looking for the ball. That's pretty easy to cover. Typically, this safety's either sitting in a deep zone or they're blitzing. Doesn't really matter either way. I would not, if I think they're in a man-to-man pre-snap, I'm going to give my quarterback something else to work with versus forcing the ball into tight coverage here. That's number 12, all hitches. It's just beautiful in its simplicity. It's a great way to get everybody involved in your offense. We're not forcing the ball to anybody. We're reading grass and delivering the ball to whoever's filling that grass. But it gives your quarterback multiple options on every single time you call this play on who's getting the ball. And it should be easy completions, short completions, something to make sure everybody's building confidence, getting game experience. Give yourself a chance to score on those as well by getting the ball to your playmakers. But it's really a good way to have fun, make your team better, and compete, even against an opponent that might be more athletic than you, better coached than you. It's just a really good equalizer because it schematically is going to be open most of the time if you know how to read a defense and call that play